Hi there. I'm really excited to show you how legal intake and triage can be handled on the Checkbox platform and built without any coding whatsoever. Instead of having your business users come to legal through phone calls, email, and maybe Slack or Teams messages, you can direct them to a legal front door, a centralized way for your business to request legal help. Here we have an example of a dashboard that looks kind of like a portal. We have different types of options, from submitting a legal request to generating an NDA and executing an agreement. These are not the only options. In fact, all this can be customized to change the different services, the different layouts, and the different descriptions. But as an example, let's go ahead and start a legal request as a business user. Over here, we are directed to the start of the form, where we're able to select what service we are after. Is it around a contract and agreement, or perhaps reporting a data breach? Or maybe it's around a marketing review. On the right-hand side, we have different types of tooltips, guidance notes that allow the end user to walk through the tool with ease. If we were to select a contract and agreement, the intake tool will capture the information, but also be able to guide the user to the correct help point. In this case, we're asking, well, if you're interested in contracts and agreement, are we looking to review a third-party external agreement, or are we looking to draft our own? If we draft our own, then which one of these template agreements are you looking to use? And in this case, let's go ahead and say we're interested in the NDA. Upon clicking next, the intake tool is able to redirect and route the user to another automation tool built on Checkbox to generate that NDA specific for their scenario. But the intake tool doesn't always lead to other automation tools. For example, if we were to go back to that starting screen and say we selected intellectual property, upon clicking next, again, the tool's going to ask some clarifying questions. What is the nature of your inquiry? Is it around unauthorized usage? Or perhaps is it about the registration of a new brand or trademark? Let's go ahead and say that it was an unauthorized use of our brand that we've discovered. Again, the tool is going to follow up with questions that are relevant to that selection. It's going to ask things like, where did you see this? Perhaps LinkedIn. It's going to ask, well, can you provide a screenshot? We'll go ahead and upload a screenshot of the logo. And perhaps we'll go ahead and say, this logo was used by a competitor in one of their ads. Now, because this competitor is using our logo in a way that we have not authorized, I want this probably to be done in the next 3 days to protect our brand in the market. Upon clicking next, rather than going to an automation tool, in this particular endpoint, we've submitted a request straight through to legal. But it doesn't just go to a centralized legal inbox. Based upon the responses that I've provided, such as intellectual property, as well as unauthorized use, and perhaps even the geography or the department that I'm from, the tool will be able to match this request with the best suited lawyer to address this particular issue. Now, that might be based on specialization, area of business, or perhaps even capacity. So if I were to flip over to the lawyer side, in their email, they will get a fresh notification saying that intellectual property request has been received. And you can see here that it summarizes the key information, such as a discovery of an unauthorized third-party use of the brand and logo from Evan Wong, and that we're expecting a turnaround in the next 3 days. Now, it doesn't have to also end up with a lawyer. Perhaps there is a scenario where we go back, let's say, to that starting screen, and we just want to ask for some frequently asked question. Yes, we're looking to ask about a policy, and perhaps it's our work and health and safety policy. Rather than a lawyer having to deal with this, or perhaps even building an automation tool, we can simply redirect this user straight to our intranet portal where they can get the information on that particular issue. And so the intake and triage tool really takes a structured approach to addressing legal requests and being able to meet them much more quickly and only allowing the lawyers to work on the most complex and bespoke matters that impact to the business. So you saw earlier that the business user launched from this portal within the Checkbox platform itself. Now you may want to meet your business users where they are already currently at. For that reason, Checkbox can also be launched from places like SharePoint. You can see here the tool itself embedded within the SharePoint interface, or perhaps within Microsoft Teams where you can see that Checkbox is an embedded app, or even within Slack itself. Another very important benefit of running your intake and triage on Checkbox is the access to data and reporting. You can see here that we had the requester view that we saw earlier. However, as a general counsel or legal ops professional, you may want to look at the overall data across your organization when it comes to legal. And so there's a different view for managers. In this case, we're able to see all of the request data, the types of work that is coming into legal, and the breakdown. You can also see the different types of NDAs that have come through, different documents, the characteristics of those documents, and you can see trends over time as well to help you with resource planning and requesting more budget. But more importantly, you can also see all of the in-flight requests and workflows that are running through your business right now. You can see their statuses, who it involves, the lawyer that's been assigned, and even how long we've been working on this particular matter. And everything that you've just seen is built without coding. It's built on our drag and drop no-code studio, where introducing questions and new flows are as easy as dragging and dropping and connecting up arrows. In fact, here's the form that we saw at the beginning. You can see all the different options that we had. And if we were to simply add a new option because our business is expanding, perhaps regulatory compliance, then it's a matter of just adding in that option and you can see it's now added to the flow. And because it's no code, you can customize your own legal front door to meet your unique business requirements, or without having to rely on IT or outside consultants. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and all the best with your transformation journey ahead.